Okay, finally, let's do the exit logic. Here we made it below the entry logic. Let's type here. One moment. Okay, exit logic. Of course, we start with an if because we need to be sure that first that our position is different than null. That means we are in the market. And opposite to this, that the phase 2 acceleration is bigger, greater than our entry acceleration threshold, we need to do the opposite thing, that we have to be sure that the phase 2 acceleration is less than the exit acceleration threshold. Okay, so if that occurs, as we are having here a counter, so we can know if we have 1, 2, 3 periods with lower acceleration than the acceleration we want. We need also to have a counter, and we're going to name it exit acceleration periods counter. Okay, we increase it by 1. And finally, the last condition, if that exit acceleration periods counter is greater than or equals the exit acceleration periods, okay, that the user defined, then we're going to close the position. We can just put execute market order. Sorry, that would be different. That we would make a different kind of thing. We would make close position, okay, and we put here the open position. But I want to proceed in a different way, just to teach you one little thing. I'm going to use here a function that I'm going to develop later. That function will be called close open position. Okay. And in this bot, it's not necessary to do this, but in other bots, we may be able to close position in different moments for a stop loss, for a trailing stop, for a manual coded trailing stop and stop loss as the one we have in the martingale bot, that normally a stop loss and a stop or a trailing stop is set with pips. In the martingale bots we have it with dollars, so I have to code it manually. And it's very useful to have here below of here we have the on timer. Okay, below the on timer have, let me be sure that I'm in the right place. No, I'm not in the right place. Sorry. Okay, here we have the on timer here, so that will be here. To make a separate function, okay, private void, because it won't return anything, call close open position. We can call the function whatever we want, and in this case we want to close the open position, close the position. We want to reset all the variables we were using. Open position now will be null, so we know that we are out of the market. Here, okay. Our phase 2 flag will be now set to false. The exit accelerations counter will be reset to 1. The entry acceleration counter also to -1. And the base speed, we can put it null or 0. I will use 0. So there we have it. A function that we can call anywhere, start, inside on timer, inside on tick, whatever we want. And here, if we have our exit logic completed here. If we are in the market and the phase acceleration is below the threshold the user inputs, then we increase by 1 the counter, and if that counter is greater than or equals the period the user wanted, then we close the open position. The last thing we're going to code, and we will have our bot complete, is to, at the beginning I didn't put that, and I had to spend 2 hours to know that I was doing this wrong. So let me see it here. Okay, here. Okay, if the open position is null, blah blah blah, but else if this doesn't happen, I'm in the phase 2, and I was in the market, but the phase 2 acceleration was greater than the exit acceleration. So I have to restart or reset the exit acceleration periods counter. Okay. And finally, let me check this here. Here we have the previous speed will be the current speed, and the previous price will be the current price. And we are setting things for the next run, for the next time the on-timer method is run. And that's it. We pretty much have all the logic of the bot. We are instantiating the robot class. We are setting some parameters that the user may change. We have our private variable that we are using for coding the logic. We are initializing our timer and setting some things on the start. We're not using the onStop, and we're using the onTimer for creating our variable to check if we are in the phase 2, and if we are in the phase 2, we have an entry logic and finally an exit logic. And we are preparing things for the next one, for the next time on-timer is run. We build it, build succeeded, and we can test it. We can go here to the plus sign, $. Let's use it on 1 minute, of course. Let's use the default values. And this is very important in the backtesting. We need to use the tick data. for being more accurate. And we may test it. Of course, normally if you don't optimize a bot won't be profitable. I make some runs previously here, and you can see that currently the bot is making a lot of trades, 23,000 trades, but a lot of them were loser trades. But if you see here, too many deals, last 2,000 deals are shown in deal map. That's maybe for this one here. Yes, for this one here, the test I made. This is the one we coded here with the videos. Okay, you can see here how it's behaving. A lot of trades, 4,000, more than 4,000, but we need to tweak these parameters to know which one of them may be profitable. But if you see here, you may be having the logic you want. It's hard to see, but here this candle was a little bigger than the other ones. So you're having a bigger speed, a bigger acceleration. So it enters into the market, and then when the acceleration comes down, it closes. Let's see here another one. It made the same. Maybe here is not as clear, but you can see that in one of the first red bars, red candles, so the acceleration is going down. It is out of the market. Here you can see here the big candle, the acceleration. Let's check a looser one. Sell here. Well, you have thousands of trades to see if maybe that's the logic you want. If you want to do some more deep tests, it's very useful to use this log. Here you just see backtesting finished. But if you go to the code and maybe here at the end of when the on timer is running, and you put something like print, let's say that the current acceleration, we want to see the current acceleration is, and we put here acceleration. So when we run our code, there's a 0 here. Okay, when we run our code, it will print in the log in each on time the acceleration. Okay, so you can see if the acceleration is what you want. Of course, you can print. When I was testing, I was printing the current speed, the previous speed, the current price, the previous price, to check that all the formulas were right, that when the acceleration was right, it was buying and selling. That's a way to very deeply test it. Then you just, as always, build it and do a back test. Let's do it with less dates, and let's change some things here. Let's put 2x of acceleration. Let's do 3x. Let's see what happens. And 2x here. We want 2 periods. Let's put the things more difficult to the bot. And let's keep it that way here. And let's run that. And let's see if it's okay. We have it. It's not successful, but we have less trades. And we can see here the acceleration on each moment. Okay, so we have positive and negative accelerations, and we have this infinite and 0. Of course, if the market hasn't moved in that time, it will have an acceleration of 0. And if the previous speed was 0, as you can't divide anything by 0,